credit to those guys over there. They earned that win. They made they made the plays in the critical moments. There at the end to win it. So that's what they've done. It's proud of the way the guys played. I thought they played their tails off, played hard, man. I thought we finished plays, tried to finish plays. I thought we were disciplined for the most part. But just, defense, I thought really played their tails off, I thought they showed up, played championship-style defense. They had to put out a number of fires there between the takeaways and the fourth down stops. But like I told them, man, but it's also you got the hot hand. You gotta beat them back one more time. And then offensively, 3 of 13, 0 on third down, and 0 of 5 on fourth down. We could not convert. And when you can't convert, that makes it very difficult. Felt like we were getting a rhythm after that second quarter. We started, we hit those explosives, went down. J-Mo scores, touchdown. And it felt like, all right, here we go. But just couldn't ever really get in a rhythm offensively. There's some calls I wish I could have gotten back. I didn't help those guys, and I hate that. I didn't help them. So, but that was kind of the story of the game.
Was it a common theme on third and fourth down, Dan, or was it multiple things? What do you think was maybe the little bit of disconnect there?
Yeah,
just Billy was doing, or
no, they really didn't do. They really didn't do anything different. I mean, he, like Fangio does, he mixed his calls, and he's got a few that he rolls through, and he does a good job of variety there, but yet, I wouldn't say it was anything like exotic or anything we haven't seen or talked about. We were just a little off. I mean, it really was kind of one of those days. I hate saying that, but it was just a little bit of one of those days, and I mean, it's a that, Goff and St. Brown don't connect. More than that, that's just a rare thing, because those guys have such a good connection. But there again, man, we're all involved in this. We all got a hand in it. From me, the coaches, all of us, man, everybody that's part of this offense. We got to be better, especially in a day like today when you're playing that kind of defense, that kind of team. The margin for error is so small, man. You don't have the luxury of, like, we get in the red zone, we have to score a touchdown, man. We can't come away not scoring 7 there. We have to convert at least 2 or 3 of those fourth downs. You have to, and we were a little off. We just couldn't get our rhythm there.
And Goff was under, obviously, constant pressure. And
say it again?
Goff was under constant pressure, and it looked like that wrecked anything you guys tried to do. Is there anything you could have done to alleviate, because it looked like you couldn't even move at all in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, well, once we got down there, a couple of scores, that makes it a little more difficult. But, we certainly try to max protect a little bit more. That can help. Now you don't get as many guys out, but that's one way to do it. We just, there again, we just couldn't get going.
What'd you think of the Rock, the pass interference?
Yeah, well, I thought he played defense like he did the whole game, man. I thought he challenged, and played it like he did the very first rep. That we played man-to-man, so I wouldn't tell him to do anything different, man. Get up there and challenge, play your style, and that's it.
You talked about how pivotal this November stretch would be. Obviously, the guys entered this game with just high expectations. How did you keep your confidence high going forward and not allow this game to be too much for them?
Yeah, well, look, I mean, there again, we know the type of team we just faced, a good team, man, and we had our chances, we didn't get it done. They made the most of the opportunity, we didn't, but we're right there, and we understand what it is, and we understand we make 1 or 2 more plays in certain areas, then you got the legit shot to win that game at the end. So it is, as bad as it stings, as bad as it is, we're so freaking close, and I mentioned this before, you just kind of hit some of these patches here. We're middle way through the season. We're in November, and I believe this is the best thing for us. You don't want to say that, and it doesn't feel good, but yet, man, we're going to learn from this. We're going to get better. We're going to adjust, and we'll be hitting our stride when other teams start to hit their adversity towards the back end of the season. I really believe that. So, we're going to learn from this game, and we're going to get better.
We've seen you dial at the fake punts a little bit over the years. What made you want to try it tonight? What kind of look did you think you had?
Yeah, I just believed that we were going to, I thought we could get those guys off balance. And obviously that didn't happen. I felt like the look was there to move them. And they did a good job. They were ready.
How much did the elements play back a part in some of those offensive struggles?
Man, I didn't feel like, look, we had a little bit of wind, but I really didn't feel like that was, it was something abnormal. Like that we were in frigid temperatures so I really didn't believe that was it. I don't feel that way. It just,
Didn't impact your play calling?
No. There was a couple things early in the game that I wanted to be smart with because, look, there was a little bit of wind. But once we got going, I wasn't even thinking about the wind. I felt like, that wasn't going to be an issue.
Dan, can you chalk up some of what happened tonight to the Eagles having a great defense and the world champs, but look at and wonder and be concerned about how the offensive line, your offense was overwhelmed a little bit?
Yeah, well, look, that is a good defense. We know that. But, there's things that, just like every game, that is a very good defense. But yet, man, we can play better. We can play better. I can call a better game. And there again, in this type of game, knowing what it is, man, we're talking about 1, 2, maybe 3 plays is the difference. And we're sitting up here and we just won the game, and it's like, whoa, man, that was a hell of a win. You guys stuck it out, but we just didn't make those plays. And so, I really believe that's not going to be the norm, what happened today. I don't believe that's the norm. We could not quite convert. We were a little bit off. And I don't believe that's going to be here to stay. We're going to clean up a few things. We're going to find our rhythm, and we're all going to be better for it.
No more questions? What do you tell Jameson about the penalty that jumped on the goal?
Yeah, I told him it's a hell of a play. Don't do that again.
Before the half, they got inside the 5 there. You had all 3 timeouts. You choose
Right before halftime?
Right before halftime.
Yeah, I thought about it. It was like, man, maybe I'll just go ahead and bang that right now. But I knew we were getting it after halftime, and really what I did, I just kind of waited. I was going to wait until we hit about under a minute, and then at that point, I just kind of let it go. Like, all right, we'll get it back. So, absolutely, I talked about it, thought about it, and I chose not to there. I chose not to. I said, we'll take it in the third quarter. We come out of halftime, and so, yeah, I did think about it.
With all the teams kind of bunched together right now, especially in your division, how do you view the final portion of the season for you guys in terms of the playoff push and what needs to be good to kind of get that run going?
Yeah, look, you take it one game at a time. You really do. We got the Giants this week, so we got to rebound, clean a couple of things up, go back to work, and get a dub, And I mentioned this before, but everybody's playing everybody now. This is what's going to happen over the next couple of months here is all these teams we're bunched in with begin to play each other, division games, NFC games, and so that'll all handle itself. You just worry about your own business. We're going to worry about us one game at a time.
2 things.
Last 2 days, John.
The tush push, you guys shut that down. Just, I guess, explain the strategy, just putting all the beef up front and getting some leverage.
Yeah, we got guys that play with leverage. They're strong, they're stout. Reeder and Lopez and Mack, and we got some tree trunks in there, man. They know how to grow roots and anchor in there, and that's where it always is going to start. So I thought the guys handled it well, did a great job, and it paid dividends today. It gave us a chance.
And Sam, you guys put Sam on IR.
Yeah.
How concerning is that? What's the long-term prognosis?
Well, obviously enough to where we're talking about 4 weeks here. So, obviously we're going to hope that this thing calms down, and after those 4 games, you know, we can get him back. But we're really just taking this day to day, week to week.
Think you'll get it back at this point?
I'm hopeful, but I really don't know.
Sean, last question?
Dan, you said you wanted some calls back. What about some decisions? It's
Yeah.
such a tight game, you know.
Yeah, no, listen, and I told the team that. I was like, man, there's some things I wish I would have done different. Look, the bottom line is you obviously, if you go totally conservative, you got to, in the way this game played out, and the way it was, you got a better chance of winning that game than some of those decisions I made. I understand that, but also, you know, that's who we are. It's who I am, and it bit us today, you know?
Yeah. I mean, we did feel like we moved the ball pretty decently at times throughout the game, and got down there, stalled out a few times. Obviously, the 4th downs weren't good enough, and yeah, you give a ton of credit to them. They're a good-ass defense, and you'd like to think if we were able to get a 4th down or 2, it changes the game, and even some of those 3rd downs. But yeah, they played well, and we weren't even close to up to snuff today offensively.
We got so used to you and St. Brown just kind of being that
Yeah.
terrific connection. I think 12 targets, only 2 catches. What was
Yikes,
the
yeah.
disconnect there? Was something they were doing, or just a little bit of both?
I don't think it has anything to do with him and I. I think there was just tight coverage and just didn't connect. There's a few I'd like to have back that I just missed on. Slight miscommunication on our end on 1 or 2 of them maybe, but it should never be that bad. It really shouldn't. Yeah, it wasn't good enough.
It looked like the pressure was a problem on almost every single down. If they didn't get to you, they were tipping the ball or defending. Is that as much siege as you've been under in a while, do you think?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think they did. I think they did a good job. I do. I think they did a really good job. I think they're aware of how teams want to attack them, and they know if you're going to throw the ball quick, they can stop and put their hands up, and they're good. They're good. They understand that, and then they also know if it's a longer drop back to get their pass rush going, and they did that to some extent. But I don't want to take any credit away from them, but we shot ourselves in the foot a whole lot, and it hurt us.
You guys are obviously such a resilient team, but does it take any wind out of your sails when you go 3 for 18 on the money downs?
So ask that again. What's your question?
You guys are typically such a resilient team, but does it kind of hurt your confidence or whatever when you kind of keep on coming short on those?
No, I mean, I don't. The 4th downs are the whole thing. I don't know what we were on 3rd down, but a lot of those 3rd downs were trying to get to 4th down and trying to get to 4th short, and then expecting to convert. We've been really good on 4th down. I would imagine high 60s or 70s on the year, and today obviously had 0. So, that was part of the plan, was getting those 4th and manageables, 4th and shorts, convert on, let's say at least half of them, and it's a whole different ballgame. Now again, if and buts, it means nothing. They played good and we didn't.
Jerry, how about the elements? We saw the glove. I know wind can sometimes be the worst thing for a passing game.
Yeah, I don't think it affected us much. There may have been 1 or 2 throws, but no, I don't think it made a huge difference.
Why'd you go to the glove? What was that?
Felt good with it pregame. It felt like those would help me.
I know a lot of your teammates approached it.
Cover a couple more guys.
You approached it like a must-win situation, or we really got to get this one, but you moving forward. How do you keep the guys even keel, level headed? Did you learn
Yeah.
from it? Was this somewhat of a moment where the team stands right now?
Sure, to some extent. And to some extent, we did good things, and that's why you want to, we do stack up in some areas, but not good enough, obviously. It's not good enough in a lot of areas as well. But, yeah, we do. We're 6-4. We're right in the middle of the season. Got 3 home games coming up. Got a lot to look forward to. Got a lot of football ahead of us. Everything's in front of us. We got a good veteran unit. We respond the right way. We will respond the right way. And, yeah, it sucks. It stings. You want to come out here and play well and beat a really good team and be able to have, a kind of hallmark win of the middle of the season, but didn't get it done, and got to move on and find a way to win next week.
You speak to the performance of
Last 2, Tim and Dave.
defense.
Yeah, defense was incredible, right? They played really well, and kind of the game we anticipated from our defense is they were going to play a little bit of field position, ball control. Our defense was going to continue to stop them, and then we had to do our job and try to score points, and we didn't. It feels horrible. It's the worst. Our defense plays well, and feel like you let them down, and I know I certainly do, and it sucks.
Just to follow up on Eric's question a little bit, do you feel like you'll have to come back here at some point in the playoffs, just kind of get the record?
Yeah, certainly, if they're the 1 seed and we win a playoff game, it would go through here, so, yeah, that would be the case, and we'd like to be on the other side of it.
And what do you think you guys, what would you have to do different to come up with a win this?
Yeah, where do you start? Whole bunch of areas. I don't know to give you specifics, but again, I know it sounds like a broken record, but they played well. We didn't, at least offensively, in their defense. And again, it sucks to stand here and feel like you let your defense down.
Dan said he wished he had a couple of decisions back, and I assume the fourth downs were some of them. Did you guys think about that maybe this was more of a field position type of game and gambling, that it was in your nature? It was more...
No, I mean, yeah, that's just kind of who we are, and when it doesn't work, it's going to get questioned by you guys, and when it works, it's going to get praised by you guys, and it didn't work today, so I understand the question, but part of me says, like, once you commit to it, you got to keep doing it, because it's like at some point you're going to convert them, and tonight wasn't our night on fourth down, and it sucks, but yeah, you'd like to think, how many do we have? 6? But 3 of those, 2 of those, it's a whole different ball game, and again, not good enough.